Guys, guess what? Guess who it is? Guess who we have back? Grace!
Hi!
Today we are talking about a few things that models love and don't love when working with photographers. Of course, Grace is back to help me with the shoot. We are on this incredible farm, and what would you call this place?
A horse farm.
Incredible horse farm. Grace has rode horses since she was 3 years old, which is a crazy fact that I just learned today. And so this shoot naturally made a ton of sense. It was also a shoot that I had on my bucket list, so here we are. Also, huge shout out to my friends over at Rowing Blazers. They were so kind to send this entire wardrobe over for Grace to shoot in and keep for the shoot, so make sure you guys check them out down below in the description. But without further ado, let's shoot. It's really easy and natural as a photographer to focus so much on what you're doing behind the camera that sometimes you might not give enough thought to what the model is feeling, what they like and don't like. And working with models really well is something that you have to learn over years and years of experience. Now, yes, obviously your first priority is to make sure that you are the best photographer behind the camera to execute on the photo shoot, but equally as important is making sure that you build a reputation of somebody that is amazing to shoot with. So in today's video, we're going to run through 4 things that Grace has said that she loves that photographers do on portrait photo shoots. And to round it all off, we're going to discuss one thing that she doesn't love as much. So let's get into it.
One of the things I love is when I get honest feedback and sometimes positive reinforcement as well, just when the photographer tells me if I'm doing a good job, just so I know, because it's hard to see, it's hard to gauge what I'm doing and how the photos are turning out. So anytime someone's honest with me, it just makes the photo a million times better.
Feedback and positive reinforcement. Now, this is a very, very, very important one because it is something that everyone needs in their life, even outside of photo shoots, obviously. But when working with models, they really appreciate getting that positive reinforcement and getting that consistent feedback to what they're doing. Now, obviously, they know what they're doing as a model with angles and body positioning and all of that, but they can't necessarily see what you are shooting behind the camera. Now, an experienced model will be able to anticipate things like angles and perspectives, but they can't exactly see for certain what you're capturing. So if the model is doing something right, give them that positive reinforcement, tell them how much you love what they're doing, ask them to do more of that. And if they're not giving you exactly what you want to accomplish your vision, then give them that feedback in a constructive and positive way. Now, obviously, you and the model both want the pictures to turn out as amazing as possible, so you don't want to give harsh feedback or negative feedback. You just want to give feedback that is reinforcing and re-encouraging to accomplish that certain look. Now, some common verbiage that I like to use when giving positive feedback is, "That's great, can we try this?" Or, "That's fantastic, do you mind if we do this?" Or, "That was awesome, but I think I want to see how this looks instead." And also, on top of the verbiage that you use, it's also important to explain why you're asking them to do certain things. You might get them to do something with their legs, with their arms, with their head, with their torso, and they might not understand why you're asking them to do that. But if you explain why you want that, maybe it's for the certain composition, the angle, the perspective that you're going after, and you want something on the body to look a certain way, explain that. Don't overcomplicate it, but give them a simple explanation so that they get why you're asking them to do something. But all in all, number 1, very important, positive feedback and positive reinforcement.
I love when a photographer shows me what's behind the camera because obviously we can't see what's behind it, and it sucks when you finish a whole shoot and you realize that you don't like the way you look in any of the photos either. So it's nice to just see and fix like a few face cues or a little body posing and then make some tweaks and go right back at it.
Ah, yes, showing the model some photos throughout the photo shoot. Now, sometimes you are on a time crunch and you need to keep going and be as efficient as possible, but if you have even just a few seconds in between scenes or in between different outfits and sets, I really recommend showing a few of the images to the model to make sure that they are happy with what they are doing and with what you are capturing. A lot of the time, I guarantee you, they're not even too focused on your picture. They're just looking at what they are doing and making sure that they are doing the correct thing for your image. 9 times out of 10, they're going to be looking at their facial expression, their body posing, their body positioning, all of that, and not really focused on whether or not they like the overall image. They're just making sure that they are checking the box and mission accomplished as a model. And obviously, a bonus one here is that if you are taking really cool pictures, they will absolutely love it and just have even more positive energy towards the shoot. And sometimes while showing the model a few poses, you actually might capture something that you say, oh, actually, let's run that back one more time, or let's do this exact thing, but try this instead. And then both of you are kind of on the same page as to what you might want to fix for the photo. And as much as this is really helpful for the model, you do want to keep this short and sweet because you have to keep the shoot as efficient and as moving forward as possible.
Another thing is music. It's kind of hard to do when you're out here or outside, but sometimes when you're inside in a studio and it's kind of quiet, it's just you and the photographer, you and a small team. It's nice to have music going and just kind of keep the vibes up because it gets a little bit awkward after a few hours of shooting and posing.
Music, 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 music. This is a very, very simple one, but one that I make sure to have on most of my shoots. I always like to ask the model, even before the shoot, if not on the day of, what kind of music they listen to, and have a playlist ready, or just have my Spotify open and ready to choose a playlist of their liking. Again, you as the photographer, I believe, should be adaptable to whatever the model is going to feel most comfortable listening to, so don't just put on whatever playlist that you would normally listen to. Ask the model what they like, and if they say that they listen to everything, well then just use your best judgment and find a fun, positive, upbeat playlist on whatever streaming platform you use to then just set the tone for the photo shoot. A pro tip here is that I've actually built a bunch of playlists myself on Spotify with slightly different vibes depending on the shoot that I can have ready at all times. They're downloaded on my phone even if I don't have service on a photo shoot, and they are just a great fail-safe, fastball down the middle, high energy type playlist.
I really love when you kind of have a friendship with a photographer, and it doesn't have to be something that happens over a long time. Just when you meet them, just if they're cool and chill and kind of just like keep it on a good level with you and make sure that you're comfortable as well. Obviously you want them to be comfortable, but when both parties are comfortable in a shoot, it makes it a million times better.
Building rapport and just being a chill person to shoot with is arguably, in my opinion, one of the most important things when working with models. You don't want to come across as somebody that is stuck up or somebody that is overly stiff or nervous or kind of weird and awkward to be around. You just want to be chill, have fun, be relaxed, and again, that energy and that tone is going to set the tone and set the energy for the shoot. As much as you wouldn't want a model that's awkward and stiff and weird to shoot with, they want somebody that is just fun and easy to be around. Now, yes, I know this can be intimidating and I know this can be nerve-wracking at first, but I promise you, if you just practice being a chill, laid-back, relaxed, and normal person, but still be on task and be creative and be going towards a vision with your shoot, everyone is going to really enjoy working with you and everyone is going to have a very chill and relaxed time. And building a good rapport with the model goes way beyond just the one photo shoot. I promise you, 9 times out of 10, when people talk about you as a photographer behind your back to other people or potential clients or their friends, they're going to mention how amazing it was to work with you first and foremost, beyond just your photography itself. You as a photographer being somebody that people want to work with is going to speak absolute volumes, and I think is one of the most crucial things when working with models.
I'm not very fond of when photographers tell me too much to do on posing. If they're a little, overly controlling as to where I put my hands, where I put my body, and I love posing, a little bit of it in moderation, but when the whole shoot is orchestrated by the posing that the photographer wants, sometimes it can make the photos turn out like you look stiff, you look uncomfortable, and the most important part of a shoot is that everyone's happy and positive.
being overly controlling on posing and direction. Now, this is something that a lot of models don't typically like because it makes them stiff and it takes them away from being truly a model and being truly good at what they do. Now, take a pause here. Imagine as a photographer if somebody was telling you exactly what composition, what settings, what angle, what focal length to use for every single shot. You would feel like you have no creativity and you have no value to add to the shoot, and therefore probably wouldn't produce your best work. You work best as a photographer when you are allowed to trust what you are good at. And the same is true for the model. They want to be directed and they want to be told what the overall vision and the vibe and the mood is for the shoot, but they don't want to be over-directed and over-controlled when it comes to those things either. You have to trust their area of expertise and their creativity as much as they are trusting you. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Thank you, Grace, for helping me with this shoot. Where is she? There she is. Make sure you guys give Grace a follow down below. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button and that like button. And until next time, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace. Guys.
Bye.